Macbeth is perhaps one of Shakespeare's darkest and most famous works. Since its publishing in 1623, this tragedy has been performed countless times in its traditional format as a play, or in its adaptations for opera, ballet, movies, and TV series. Though it is said that Macbeth is not an original of Shakespeare's, it is not our job to dig into the rabbit hole of its controversial origin, but rather explain to the viewer the main points of the work itself for better understanding. Keeping that in mind, let's submerge into the bloodbath of Macbeth's gruesome tale of ambition, power, and vengeance. Macbeth is listed with several other well-known works of Shakespeare, such as Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and King Lear, as a tragedy. A tragedy is a literary genre that embodies the human drama as its main subject. It goes back to the Greek theater, where the word was initially introduced into use. The word tragedy comes from trago, goat song, which comes from tragos, he-goat, and aidin, to sing, making allusion to the song sang by the procession made by the citizens of Athens during the Bacchanal festivities. A tragedy is a drama in which the main characters are no ordinary people. Most of the time, the protagonist of a tragic tale will be noble-born or famous figures, with seemingly perfect lives prior to the events that take place in the story. During the course of the tale, the protagonist suffers from a transformation from their virtuous selves into a dark, brooding shadow, which leads them to an unfortunate end. In the case of Macbeth, we are presented with a Scottish nobleman well known for his skills in the battlefield, who succumbs alongside his wife into a spiral of madness and chaos after he hears a prophecy from 3 witches he comes across in his way home after the battle. Macbeth is set during the 11th century in Scotland, in the northmost region of what is known nowadays as the United Kingdom. At the time of the story takes place, Scotland was separated from England, which caused tension between both kingdoms and provoked constant fighting for the lands. Scotland is a humid, dark, and dreary territory, which makes it a perfect setting for a story packed with wicked deeds and gory scenarios. It is also a land with an air of mystery and superstition, which might come hand in hand with the supernatural aspects of the story.
Macbeth is the story of a loyal man and how grief overcomes him and makes him love his moral as everything he has had. In the first act, the story begins with Macbeth and Banquo, who are approached by 3 witches. They tell them prophecies. The first one is Macbeth being promoted 2 times, first Thane of Cawdor and then King of Scotland. The other one is Banquo's descendants will be kings, even though Banquo himself is not promised to be a king. After that, the witches disappear, and son King Duncan promotes Macbeth as the prophecy said. After Macbeth tells his wife Lady Macbeth about the prophecy, she encourages him to kill King Duncan. In the second act, Macbeth arrives to his castle, followed by King Duncan, who is paying him a friendly visit. Following Lady Macbeth's advice, Macbeth kills King Duncan and blames his guard. Another nobleman, Macbeth, is arriving, and Macbeth kills the guard in the moment to hear the prophecy. He feels remorse, but his wife reassures him. After, King Duncan's sons run from the country to protect themselves. The third act, Macbeth is now the king, but he feels remorse. He cannot forget Banquo's prophecy and arranges for Banquo and his son's friends to be killed. Banquo is murdered, but his son escapes the assassins. That night Macbeth sees the ghost of Banquo and worries the court is with his mother's point. Maybe Macbeth dismisses the court and tries to calm her husband. Still feeling insecure, Macbeth looks for the witches in the fourth act. They tell him that he will lose his kingdom when the local forest arrives to his place, and no man born from a woman will be able to harm him. They also prophesy that the Scottish succession will still come from Banquo's son. Macbeth embarks on a reign of terror, slaughtering many, including Macduff's family. At the same time, Macduff had gone to seek Malcolm, one of Duncan's sons, at the court of the English king. Malcolm is decided to take back the throne, and Macduff to take revenge. In the last act, Macbeth thinks he has won, but after receiving the message that there is an army reaching his castle and they have branches of the Birman wood as camouflage, maybe Macbeth commits suicide because of the guilty. Macduff challenges Macbeth and reveals he was born by cesarean. Macbeth knows he has lost, and he surrenders. The story finishes with Macbeth's head in Macduff's hand. Malcolm declares peace and goes to Scone to be crowned king.
The main characters of the play are Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, the witches, Banquo, Macduff, Duncan, and Malcolm. First, we have Macbeth, who is a Scottish nobleman who holds three successive titles in the play. Initially serving as Thane of Flamage, he met three witches who promised he would be awarded the title of Thane Malcolm, and later become King of Smoke. When King Duncan makes him Thane of Crowthor as a reward for his role putting down a rebellion, Macbeth decides the witches must be corrected. He kills Duncan and takes the crown for himself. As his friend Banquo killed, as Banquo was the only other person who could promise. When the other things become suspicious, then they help Duncan's tribe to raise an army and defeat Macbeth. We have Lady Macbeth. When she hears of the witch's prediction, she helps her husband Morgan Duncan to take the crown. Abounding the characteristics expected of a woman in her position, she claims to feel no guilt about the murders that she and Macbeth have committed. Encourages Macbeth to let go of his guilt as well. However, it becomes clear that she still feels guilty, and the memory of Duncan's murder slowly drives her to the Weird Sisters act as the catalyst for the play's action. The prediction they give Macbeth sparked his thoughts of becoming king. They mate twice with Macbeth, and it becomes clear during a meeting with their goddess that they are not working in Macbeth's best interest, as they show him visions that are incomplete and lead to his demise. He's a friend and attends goodbyes alongside Macbeth in the battle to put down MacDonald's rebellion. He is with Macbeth when the witches first appear, and they predict that Banquo will never be the king. His sentence will be. He also hears Macbeth calling Duncan's murder, and Macbeth knows this. Published the prediction about Banquo's descendants, Macbeth decides Banquo is a traitor and has to kill him. In him, Macduff is the king of five and a loyal follower of King Duncan. He has suspicions about Macbeth involving Duncan's death. Officials attend Macbeth's coronation. Later, he tracks Duncan's son Malcolm to England and convinces him to return to Scotland to fight for his right and save the country. His loyal leader is his wife and child, whom Macbeth murders while Macduff is away. When Macduff encounters Macbeth on the battlefield, Macduff is the one to kill him. And he's a good and respectable king. He inspires loyalty in his scenes and rewards him for this, giving Macbeth a new title to honor his performance in battle. After he is murdered, the saints and lords force him and avenge him by uniting against him. Last but not least, Malcolm is King Duncan's older son. Fearing that he and his brother may also be killed, he flees to England. He has fears about returning to challenge Macbeth, but overcomes them when Macbeth convinces him how much his country needs him. With an army of 10,000 English soldiers and a thirst for revenge, he returns to Scotland to claim his rightful place as king.
Among all chapters we saw from Macbeth from 1 to 5, we have that the theme of it is the destruction, not only self-destruction but the one of all people around. This happens when the ambition goes further than the morals. So, naturally, the desire of power and fulfilling the desires will win over the rationality. Another of the main themes of Macbeth are good versus evil, the dangers of ambition, as mentioned before, the influence of supernatural forces, the contrast between appearance and reality, and loyalty and guilt. Macbeth is such a piece of art. So, as the story progresses, we can see how is that the main character starts changing his personality. Macbeth becomes evil, a shadow of what he used to be. And I think that's the main conflict of all 5 chapters, because we can see that transition and that changes. How is that of being an admirable hero, he becomes a merciless, paranoid, obsessed with power. And it's curious because it doesn't matter how attached he is to the person, if it's an obstacle for him, he will get rid of them. Therefore, there are conflicts within another characters. For example, the guilt that Lady Macbeth feels.